What happened to the Tokyo trial's defendants? Imagine standing in a courtroom where some of the most powerful figures of a nation are being held accountable for actions during a war. That was the scene at the Tokyo trials, officially called the International Military Tribunal for the Far East. These trials took place from 1946 to 1948 and aimed to bring justice for crimes committed during World War II. 28 high-ranking Japanese officials, military leaders, and government figures faced charges like war crimes, crimes against humanity, and crimes against peace. Outcomes for these defendants varied widely. 7 of them faced the death penalty. Among these was General Hideki Tozo, who was the prime minister during much of the war. Others included General Kenji Dehara, who led intelligence efforts in Manchukuo, and Koki Hirota, a former prime minister and foreign minister. They were executed by hanging at Sugamo Prison in Tokyo on December 23, 1948. 16 defendants received life sentences, meaning they were to spend the rest of their lives in prison. These included military officers and officials who were found guilty of different charges but were spared the death penalty. One defendant, Shumei Okawa, was declared mentally unfit for trial and was not prosecuted. 2 others, Yasuke Matsuoka and Osami Nagano, died of natural causes during the proceedings. The tribunal also held some responsible for crimes they failed to prevent. For example, Koki Hirota was convicted of criminal negligence because he did not act to stop atrocities during the Nanjing campaign. After the trials, many of those sentenced to life imprisonment were released early, mostly by the mid-1950s. This was partly due to changing political needs during the Cold War, as Japan became an ally of the United States. Some of these former war criminals even re-entered political life, which created a complicated legacy in Japan. In addition to the Tokyo trials, other allied nations held their own trials across Asia and the Pacific. These resulted in thousands of convictions and many executions of lower-ranking soldiers and officials. The Tokyo trials set an important example of international justice, showing that even powerful leaders could be held accountable for wartime atrocities. However, they also sparked debates about whether justice was fully served and the fairness of applying laws retroactively. Today, the outcomes of these trials still influence how we think about justice, accountability, and history. They reminded us that even in the chaos of war, there are standards of conduct that nations and individuals are expected to uphold.